Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. Whenever tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the champ and the tramp, let the bomb blast.
Just rip it?
Yeah, let's just rock. Richie Lewis in the building. TR native, old Toms River East alum, Rutgers alum, Iowa Central alum, U23 world champ, 4-0, 5-0? 4-0 on the MMA scene right now. He's got a fight coming up, most likely, possibly on the East Coast in Jersey, possibly a title fight. So, got him on the couch, champ in the Trant room. What's up, man?
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming, man. It's you don't live in Jersey no more, so we gotta in for town. So we make some time for you.
He doesn't live in Jersey, but we hang out all the time. I was with him last weekend. I just happened. I've been following Richie for a while. I've been a fan of his for a while. I knew he was a Toms River guy, but I was actually in Lauderdale last weekend, just hanging with friends. Just had a weekend off with the kids, and I'm at some pool day club thing, just chilling. I think it was our second stop of the day. We went all night, and Richie walks in. I'm like, this. He sees me. I see him. I'm like, guy, small world. Small world.
What's this old guy doing in here?
Yeah, exactly.
I see the Jersey Shore. I knew what he was doing.
Hey, talk. Just pull it close. Yeah. That's perfect. There you go.
So, man, since we're on that subject of being out, obviously you're a young guy. Frankie don't go out anymore. He's old as dirt. But you're a young guy. You still travel in that scene. You ever run into problems like out? I mean, you're a professional fighter now. So, like, do you shy away from it? Do people see the ears and talk smack? Or do they not talk smack because they see the ears? Or how's that work? You ever have issues when you're out?
Not really.
No.
I really stay away from trouble, especially, like, I got in a lot of trouble when I was younger.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like if I'm out, it's not really worth it. I'll try and diffuse the situation.
Sure.
And most of the times when I do go out, it's with larger groups. So
yep.
I'm not too worried.
Makes sense, man. But I'm just saying sometimes, I think guys see a recognizable figure, and maybe they just want to like prove a point, be like, so I'm gonna suck at this guy.
I feel like less. I mean, I never really happened to me before. Maybe one time at an autograph, someone was like kind of talking slick, and Dante was there, and Dante's like, "What motherfucker?" And Dante like, "Oh my gosh, that's in a big group. Someone else usually takes care of it."
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And in Florida, honestly, since the gun laws are different, people don't really.
Yeah, right.
I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Bro, you see that Joe Schilling? Actually, speaking of that, you see Joe Schilling?
Yeah. He just got away.
He got away with it. You know how that dude flinched on him and he ding.
I remember that. Yep.
Florida's a stand your ground state. You're allowed to defend yourself. And they said he was just in self defense.
So that was a while ago. That was in court for a bit. Yeah, good. He should have.
Yeah,
he should have.
So I mean, hey, you got to know your law. I seen someone say, know your laws in your state before you run your mouth.
Well, Nate Diaz's most recent one was in New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what the laws are in that state.
Yeah, I don't know.
Similar.
Same thing.
Very similar.
But dude, he was backed against the wall and everything. I mean, I think that's easy.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Well, caught a charge, so we'll see what happens.
I know, but I mean, I think it's. I bet you it's gonna be nothing.
It's probably good for him with the media.
Yeah, hell yeah. With the fight, especially the Jake Paul fight going around.
And that positive.
Yeah, for sure.
So you were born. I think you were born and raised in Edison, right? But then moved to Toms River.
Yeah. So my family's from South End, boy. So I lived there for a couple years, and then we moved to Edison.
Okay.
And then 8th grade came around, and I was getting into a little bit of trouble. So my parents were like, "All right, you're gonna move down south." And we kind of knew that Toms River was a good high school for wrestling, a good area for wrestling. We didn't specifically know like Vinny Delfa, Frankie, Warren Reed, Coach Taylor, the guys who kind of looked up to and helped me. But we just knew it was really good at wrestling.
Yep.
And they moved me down with my aunt, and she's like super Catholic, Orthodox, Colombian, so kind of helped me out.
That's awesome, man.
Turned me around.
Sort of paved the way for your future, really, that one decision, so.
Yeah, and I love Toms River. I couldn't imagine my life if I wasn't from here. I feel like this is a place where you kind of get everything.
Yeah.
Rich, middle class, poor. Mm-hmm. We got the boardwalk there. We had the chill Jersey Shore. Yeah. Like, you kind of get every single walk of life. So the experience was second to none, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything.
Well, so you were Tom's River guy and you spent some time at the boardwalk, certainly you had to get into some scraps at the boardwalk. That's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
I'm not even a fighter, and I got into a bunch of scraps at the boardwalk. So yeah, so that's cool. Got any that are prevalent in the mind you can talk to us about? Frankie's told all his war stories from back in the day. He's got some good ones.
More so under the boardwalk.
Yeah.
The surf club.
Yeah. Surf club was legendary.
13, 14, 15.
Isn't your one? All your friends tell the story better than you tell the story. Wooza tells the story really good. Wasn't it near Surf Club where you fought that older dude that you got into it with a younger guy? He went in a house and then like his older brother comes outside.
No, it was the same dude. Yeah, his older brother came out. No.
He was a big motherfucker,
He was
right?
big as shit, bro.
Yeah.
I was 15, 130 pounds. This dude was like, he was like 18 or 19.
Oh, I thought it was older, but all right.
Not that old, but he was yoked up. He came out. I was like, damn. I'm like, let's go, baby.
You know, if you're
big
fighting,
haymaker. Whoop,
if you're fighting the kids from north, you know that you're fighting some juice heads when you're in high school.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're the kids like, these are enhanced athletes.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's some PEDs, bro.
We're wrestlers, so we were able to handle them. But you knew those dudes.
For
were
sure, man. That is so true. Go to any of the like DJs, surf club, any of those. It's mostly guys from north, and they're all yoked. Every one of them.
Oh yeah. That's part of it. Like I said, first thing Roger did when he came to New Jersey,
he bought steroids. almost immediately. Look at this guy. Where is he? Look, I don't know where her picture is now.
Right there.
Yeah, look at that guy.
I would have thought. I was just about to ask you where you're from, because you
Maine originally. Yeah. Did not fit the mold at all when I came here. So my mom's originally from Jersey. She's from Glen Rock, North Jersey.
Okay.
Moved to Maine with my dad. They were married 26 years, whatever. Got divorced. My mom came back here. Relocated back to Jersey. She always missed it. My dad always says you can't bring a Jersey girl to Maine. But anyway, moved back here, and I just came down to visit. I was like maybe 20, 21. Came down to visit. My sister had just had a baby, so I came really down just to visit my niece. And it was the middle of summer. It was like July of like 98. She took me to Seaside.
That was the heyday.
Oh, bro, it was like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Just the cars, the girls, the clubs. There's nothing like that where I grew up. Nothing, even remotely close, right? Even if you went to southern Maine to Portland, nothing like it. Especially back then, 98. You know, those were the heyday years back then, right?
Dude.
And I was like, fuck, I'm not going home. I'm not fucking moving back. So I did, obviously, went back, told my dad, because I was working in the family business. I was like, listen, man, I think I'm going to go give Jersey a shot. And he was a little, he's like, you'll be back. That was 26 years ago now. I've been here ever since. But I rented a U-Haul truck. Next week, I drove down here and started same job I'm at now. 26 years ago, yeah.
That's similar how I got down to Florida.
Okay.
I was living up here, training. I was at Henzo's, kind of doing my thing, figuring it out. And then I went down to Florida I was supposed to go for 1 week, 2 weeks, do a clinic, and then do another clinic. And I went down to Miami, and I'd never been to Miami my entire life. And I never thought I was going to leave Jersey. And I went down there, man. 2 weeks turned into 2 months. I came back, flew back. I was like, man, broke the lease. Moved down 3 weeks later.
What time of year was it? It's so much easier to move down there. I feel like in December.
And it was right when COVID hit.
Yeah.
So COVID hit in March. And
that state's wide open.
Like October.
Yep.
So it's like everything's here is locked up. It's hard to get
that was
concessions
open.
in.
Big difference between living in a blue state and a red state during those times. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, everything was red to me, baby.
Well, we live in a red county, so we're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So no regrets? You love it there? That's your new home? You're staying?
I'm going to stay there for the foreseeable
But you still have family in Jersey, right?
Yeah, my family lives in Jersey, so they live in Edison, South Amboy, and that's really it. My aunt lives down here still, but she moved over to Manchester to like an older...
Old people village, yeah.
And so how'd you get in with Killcliff, where you're at now?
So I was at Goat Shit Academy.
Okay.
That's where I started. And it was
That's in Miami, all right?
That's in Miami.
Yeah.
And it's just a wild gym. It's like remember when you were on the Jersey Shore?
Sure.
But MMA.
Okay. Yeah, Wild West.
Yeah, it's consistently a reality TV show. And I learned a lot there, but our goals didn't really align, so it was just time to move on.
Yep.
And I would say 4 better prospects from the gym and one of our coaches, we all went to Killcliff at the same time. And Killcliff kind of has been expanding. The
Hoof, right? Is a boxing guy?
Henry's
head coach, yeah.
One of the best in the game, for sure.
And Greg Jones.
Yep.
Yeah,
wrestling coach.
Greg. Yeah. Is jiu-jitsu coach Santiago? No.
You thinking Wagner maybe?
No. No. Who's? Oh my God.
Dude, I don't think we even have a jiu-jitsu coach.
He's always in the corner with Greg usually.
Nick Lentz?
No. Brazilian guy. Oh my God, I can't think of it. I'll think of it.
trying to think, because we really don't even do too much jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you gotta do jiu-jitsu, bro.
I know.
Yeah, you gotta do jiu-jitsu.
I did 3 years of Henzo's.
Yeah, no, I know, but you gotta stay on that jiu-jitsu, man. I feel like to me, that is a. I mean, because you get away with wrestling and being such a good athlete, having good hands, and we kind of lose that. But you see guys. I'm gonna say who, but you'll see guys go out there and get mounted and not know how to do a mount escape. That's a problem.
A lot of guys don't know how to do any jiu-jitsu.
That's what I'm saying. It's because they lack the basics too. They know how to do submissions. They know how to scramble, but they don't have the basics down. That's what you got to focus on. Make sure you have that hammered out always.
I agree.
Now, why do you say that? We really don't do it. You just don't have a coach that's there to make it available.
No, I mean, we do it on Fridays, but we have very good. I shouldn't say we don't do jiu-jitsu. We do MMA grappling instead of jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
We still do jiu-jitsu on Friday at 10 a.m.s, but they're shorter sessions. But we do MMA grappling techniques 2 times a week live, and then 2 times a week training. And we have a really good coach from Russia, Said Saparov. He grew up with like Khabib and all those dudes, and he teaches like sambo.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, submissions, all that. But it's a little different than jiu-jitsu. But it's still, you learn arm bars, you learn head pinch, you learn all that.
Now, I saw a picture. I don't know if it was just a photo op or what. Have you done some cross training with Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
You have.
So I'm signed.
What's that experience like?
It's awesome, man. He's a very good guy. He took very good care of me, and what you see is what you get. He's the same guy that you see on TV. He's loyal, and I was pleasantly surprised with how welcoming he was.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, yeah.
And then you obviously brought you in for the wrestling.
Yep.
And were you able to help him with some of the stuff?
Well, I did, yeah. But so I was there. I was also a coach on The Ultimate Fighter.
Okay.
So I taught the practices.
Yeah, nice.
And I went out more as a training partner. I maybe did like 4 or 5 sessions over the month. That I was out there.
Yeah.
But I think I might go
get to pick up some stuff for him too.
Yeah, it was wild because he brought me out there to train with him, and I trained with him. We trained a decent amount, but he was teaching me a lot.
Yeah, that's great, man. You're a southpaw too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, obviously he is a lot he can share, Yeah,
and their mindset is just different. The Irish guys, and being around like Ian Gary's one of my teammates. Paul Hughes is the Cage Warriors champion. He's about to make his debut pretty soon. Just being around those guys is a little bit different. How they think, how they react, and like how they draw guys in, and just their mindset of the sport is a lot different than American. Just like the Russian style is different.
Yeah, right.
So you learn like kind of a whole different concept about the sport. It's a whole different concept of confidence, like.
Yeah. No, it's good to get a taste of everybody. I mean, everyone has their own way. There's not only one way to do it. There are right ways and wrong ways, but there's also your way and my way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the sport is coming into a place where we've seen specialists in different areas. Like right now, we're seeing specialists in kickboxing. For a long time, I was specialist in wrestling, but now we're starting to see a blend of where these younger guys can start to do everything. Right, like a Christian Lee, who was a champion of 1, double champ of 1. He's been doing MMA since he was 5.
Yeah.
So it's kind of trending in that direction.
I always wonder though. You always wonder, like, you're gonna get those guys that like doing this since they were 5 years old, and they never really specialized in any one area. They did everything, so they're gonna seamlessly put everything together. But how about that one guy that still is a specialized guy? Will he be able to exploit that guy in that area?
I think that the best thing to be, at least for the next 5 to 10 years, is gonna be a specialist in one thing. Like you came up a specialist from a young age, but you still learned other sports.
Yeah. Right,
wouldn't that kind of be Khabib? I mean, Khabib is just such a phenom of a grapple wrestler that nobody can keep his pace, and he gets you down eventually, right? He's not known for his striking, although he did land a nice one on Conor McGregor, but he's not known for that. But really, he's unbeatable because he's so good, really, in one thing.
Yeah, he
his squeeze is like nobody
fought
else.
To his strengths,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
But he beat strikers with not
wrestling.
with wrestling.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, you're saying.
I'm saying he's a perfect example of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, he's would be the outlier, right? He would be the guy that, or he'd be the specialist that beats the freestyle guys. But I don't know. I think we're still there. We're still not all there, like you said. You know, but I kind of like my son. He's really into wrestling, but he's doing spinning heel kicks and he's messing with jiu-jitsu. You know, so we'll see how that goes. You know, in the future.
That's the
But
new era.
that's probably the way. You know, you have something that you're really or jiu-jitsu. You're really on that, but you're hitting pads on the side like the Rotolo brothers. You hear them?
Yeah. I
Jiu-jitsu
trained with
guys.
them in Miami when I first moved down.
Yeah, like they're superstars in jiu-jitsu, but I bet you they're gonna pick up MMA, and they've been wrestling, they've been hitting pads their whole lives, but they're focused on jiu-jitsu. I think you're right. That might be the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. And I think with some sports too, there's always going to be outliers. Like if you're the best in jiu-jitsu, you're not always going to be the best at MMA. You know, you kind of have to have a certain style. And those kids, Rotolos, they definitely have a style that'll transition well.
Kron Gracie on this card?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
So that's good example, right? He's a phenom of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see kind of what he's going to do because
I don't even know who he's up against. Who's he fighting?
He's doing pretty good, actually.
The French, he's French Canadian. Jourdain. Yeah. And that guy's good, man. He's long, got good striking. I think if Kron get it, the guy's not a slouch on the ground either, but Kron's just another level on the ground. Yeah.
If he gets to the ground, he's gonna submit him. But he has lightning fast hands.
Yeah.
What do you guys think is if you could be a specialist in one thing? Do you think the stand-up game is more important or the ground game? As a novice that doesn't fight, I would think the ground game is more important because eventually, you know, like you're going to get somebody to the ground eventually.
Wrestling is by far the most important sport.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Like by head and shoulders.
Yep.
And I almost think it's not just the skill of it. I mean, it is part of the skill of it, but what it takes to be a wrestler. And if you want to be good at it, what you have to be willing to do. Especially if when we wrestle in school, you have to be willing to manage your school, your grades, and stress, and travel, and all this. Like, just that pursuit makes you tougher. You know what I mean?
I agree, and I think we also had a very good coach, Warren Reed. He was an All-American for Oklahoma. He was in the military, and I feel like the way that he kind of brought us up, training, how militant that he was, how much that he had us do. We used to have to train for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And now I'm 28 years old, right? I'm only going to get so much better in 1 year. I'm only going to get so much better in 2 years, right? So this has been a whole lifelong journey of work. And I look back on the years that I was in high school, and that's helping me now. Yeah. You know, you build those muscles, you learn the kinetic energy, you learn that hard work.
Well, that's what I always say. Like, I mean, when I was in high school, there was no MMA. MMA wasn't a thing anybody did. It wasn't even an option. You
were fighting in bars, or you were fighting bars underground, right?
But I'm saying, like, even when I was in high school, there was no MMA. But like the work I put in ended up being beneficial to MMA.
When you say no MMA, you mean on a local, like for place that you could go to do it?
It wasn't like something people did.
Yeah.
It wasn't. There was no
Were you
school.
a fan of
the
UFC? 'Cause obviously,
yeah, I watched. I remember in before high school, like 7th grade, UFC 1 or 2. I remember watching that, and then in high school, it was like. It was underground. It wasn't even on pay-per-view at that point. You had to it's hard to
shut
find
down
it.
for a few years.
And not until college is when I started coming back around.
Down, remember, for a couple years.
Yeah. So that's what I mean.
80s.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm just saying that's what wrestling does. You wrestle and you pursue this shit, and you want, especially if you're like a go-getter and you want to be good. All those things you did in that moment are gonna, no matter what it is, fighting obviously, but whatever it is, it's gonna help you in the long run.
And I'm not even gonna lie. Part of the reason why I transitioned to MMA. Is because wrestling was a little bit harder. I kind of did both at the same time, and the pursuit of wrestling, maybe not the actual fighting part of it. You know, obviously a wrestling match is easier than the fight, but the rewards that you get from fighting are so much higher. The, respect and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like looking at it. You have to be number 1 in USA to even make the Olympics, to make the world team. If you're number 2, you're number 3. You don't get shit.
Yeah.
And America is so competitive. It's an honor sport, and you're just fighting for honor, and it's hard. You got to do match after match after match. In college, you're wrestling sometimes on the weekends 8 times.
Yeah.
You're flying 2 different spots. Got to make weight 2-3 times a week. Sometimes back to back. It's just very hard, very taxing on the mind, and And yeah, that's part of the reason.
Well, it's the oldest sport, right?
That's what they say, yeah.
And they actually tried to take it out of the Olympics at one point, correct?
Yeah,
Why?
dude.
That's
And
mind
then-
blowing.
And then I think in like 2 years they're going to vote on it again, which doesn't make sense.
That's
right?
mind blowing. Liberals, exactly. You said it. You said it. We all concur, though.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's mind blowing that it was, what Greco-Roman probably goes back the oldest.
No,
right? No?
listen. This is my theory. about Greco-Roman.
Was
Okay,
it gay dudes?
It was no. That's probably what you're told. You wish.
They got the paintings wrong.
No, listen. It was probably like there's no way wrestling started with no only upper body. We attacked everything, and some prince was like he sucked at leg attacks. He probably was only good upper body. So he's like, no, we're gonna make a new sport. You can't touch my legs. You can only grab my arms. Get the fuck out of here. To me, that don't make sense.
No, it doesn't
Right?
really make sense. I don't like Greco-Roman too much.
I mean, it's cool because Greco guys can toss the shit out of people. They know how to control the body. Because think about it, it's tough. They learn how to control the body with just their arms. They can't even use their thighs really to get some leverage and step around. So it does give you different skills, but how would that be real?
I think wrestling is the most natural sport in the world too, because if you look at from a very young age, when kids are 3, 4 years
They're
old,
already naturally
hell
doing
yeah.
it,
it's
right?
rough and tumble
Yeah.
play. Like if you study psychology,
Yeah.
kids are supposed to do that at 3 to 5 years old, and the kids that are allowed to do it and the parents who let them do it, obviously to a certain extent,
Yep.
those kids grow up to learn societal ranks and all those things,
Yeah.
and understand the hierarchy.
It's
and
like the very
structure
first
of things.
testing of the wills, almost, and who has more perseverance, and who it's a competition without being it's play, but it's really a competition between you and your friend to see who's tougher or who's better. Or who,
But I do say so. I did such kind of. I did some stuff for the UFC because they're in town for the fights this weekend. And I was up in Newark. I went to the Boys and Girls Club. UFC donated money. We hung out with the kids and stuff. And they were asking, "What's harder, wrestling or fighting?" I'm like, well, I said fighting. I was like, because the consequences are much more dire. You know what I mean? In wrestling, the worst thing that happens is you get pinned, right? Maybe hurt your shoulder a little bit or something. But in fighting, you're getting brain cells taken out. You're getting submissions on you. So that's true.
Yeah.
we were just talking about if you could be one thing, and I totally agree with you guys, even though I'm not a wrestler, that's what I would think is more important to know, is to be a wrestler rather than a striker. But Anderson Silva had such a long reign. I think he defended it like 19 times or something.
Not that many times, but
Wasn't that many?
It was like 8 maybe or something.
Oh, really? I thought it was way more. But okay, anyway, and he's essentially just a striker. Like, did he ever go up? Did he?
I don't think he's just a strike. He's got jiu-jitsu. I mean, think about it. Chael Sonnen took him down left like crazy. That's probably the even Marquardt. Marquardt was a decent wrestler. Took him down too.
Nate, I fought on his card for Titan. My first
Oh, really?
fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he and like Nate, Anderson was all over him, and Chael was all over Anderson. But then he found the way to win with that triangle at the end.
Yep.
And the second fight, I don't know if Chael was a little hurt before that or something. He didn't look like very competitive.
The second fight ended early, right?
Yeah.
Caught him with that flying knee, right?
Yeah, to the body,
Landed
I
in the
think.
body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these guys too from Brazil, even though they're strikers, you have to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah. It's
You
like,
have to- it's kind
I
of
mean,
the same.
I feel like Anderson's body was great. I mean, he's built for triangles and throwing stuff off his back. That long lankiness to him.
And he found out his style. I think that's such an important thing in MMA, and that's something that I'm kind of just finding out now. Like my first fight, I went out there. It was a brawl, broke the kid's orbital in the first round, and then I go back to my corner, and I'm like this. Like I couldn't breathe. I'm like, how am I going to fight this kid 2 more rounds? And all the fans are there. It's my first fight ever. I was only training I was only transitioned fully to MMA for 4 months. I moved to Miami 4 months before this. And I got my first fight, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do here? Because I didn't know my style, right? But I got through the 2 rounds, won a decision. And then you start to kind of figure it out. As you go.
You do. You will figure it out. In the gym is a good way to figure it out too. That pacing, and you got great guys to train with. That's the you got guys pushing you.
The pacing is the most important thing in my opinion. Understanding not when to take breaks, but understanding when you can relax, understanding when to push, understanding this guy's body language, his output versus your output.
Because in wrestling it's different. Like it's pretty much foot in the gas in wrestling. It's only 6-7 minutes, and you could feel people breaking as it goes. Right in MMA. like I said, and you only have to worry about it. Like you could go so hard. The worst things that happen is he's gonna shoot on you, right? Or he's gonna snap you down. In fighting, you got to be efficient. I remember George St. Pierre. You got to be efficient, right? You got to be efficient because if you go out there guns blazing, blah, 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 and you don't put this dude away, he's still standing there. He's coming after you now. You know what I mean? So you got to be efficient. You got to find a way to controlled aggression. I had a coach always said it. Give me controlled aggression.
Who's the coach?
Tony Perler.
Cool. I know he was the wrestling coach, right?
Yeah, wrestling coach. Yeah. He was my coach in college for a couple years.
He's a really good coach.
Hell yeah.
He's got his own club now.
He does, man. Him and his brother have one of the biggest clubs in the United States.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when did you start feeling comfortable when you were fighting?
Probably my fifth fight, or fourth or fifth fight when I fought Jim Miller.
I just felt mine, like, this last fight was the first time I walked into the octagon, and before I was like, you're not level-headed because your fight or flights kicked in, but where I was like, I'm cool, you know, and you could kind of think.
Yeah, I mean, because like the first couple, I mean, I fought, there were quick fights. I put these dudes away pretty quickly, and then my fourth fight and my fifth fight, I fought two good guys. One was Davidius Terror Vicious. He was a WC guy. He had some pretty good wins, and it was a decision, but still kind of like the chaos, you know what I mean? I just kept taking him down. It was a lot of chaos. And then against Jim Miller, that's when I was like, I put it together. We stood on our feet a bunch. We threw. I rocked him. I already got rocked. Yeah. I won that fight. He kicked a piece of my ear off my head. But
wow, that was your fourth or fifth one?
That was my fifth one.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I always think about that, like the guys that I'm fighting now. I wonder if it's gonna be something like Jim Miller versus Frank Yeager. You like look back on the topology,
right?
You're like, bro, what? Like you try to go find that fight. You know?
This guy just retired 15 years later after that fight or whatever, and Miller's still fighting. That's crazy.
Insane.
That's insane, man.
Like,
and Miller's a legend, bro. He's just proud to have that guy in New Jersey, you know.
Yeah, he's killing it too. He's funny, man. Jim's wild.
You follow him on Instagram?
No.
He's totally the opposite of what he is in the ring. He's he's a family man, lives on a farm, has the just dry delivery humor. He's actually funny as hell, but like he's fucking never cuts his hair.
It's so funny how like you got Jersey, you got like Newark part of Jersey, then you got like, Jersey City, you got the shore. But then everything else is like fucking miles from Pennsylvania. That's where he's from.
That's where he's
he's got fucking goats. He's up in like Northwest. He's by Sparta.
Like Sussex.
Yeah.
He's got a cool story he told on the show where he just hunts in his backyard. He'll just like pack. He's a true outdoorsman. He's got a cookbook out actually that about how to cook wild game. We both got it. But anyway, he just literally packed. I don't think a tent. I think he just took a backpack and walked, a mile in the woods behind his house to go deer hunting, and just started a fire. And gets a call from the UFC that's like, hey, can you start a new? I forget who he's fighting. But can you start your fight camp now? We need you in 5 weeks, whatever it is. And he's in the middle of the woods hunting deer. He's like, yeah, I'm in. You know what I mean? So that's who Jim Miller is. He's a wild man.
I always like guys who take short notice fights and quick fights, because in my opinion, it's the hardest thing to do when guys turn around quickly or when you only have 4 weeks to prepare. Yep. Yeah, that's why I think it's important to always stay in shape. But
the one that stands out in my head is Conor McGregor when he got Chad Mendez. You got that call that his opponent changed. I think Chad was already in fight camp, wasn't he? Didn't you tell me that?
No,
he wasn't.
No.
Well, he
was supposed to fight
RDA.
Yeah, it was RDA.
RDA and
the thing when he was supposed to fight RDA, that's when Nate Diaz fought him. But with Chad Mendez, he's supposed to fight Aldo. He was supposed to fight Aldo.
That's right. But he got the call. What was it? Literally like a week before or something, and was like, "Doesn't matter who the opponent is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'm going back to bed."
Because I think the thing with MMA is that I've noticed at least is you got to go on runs. You got to hit these short sprints. Of course, it's a marathon, but in your career, like Hamzat, how he came on, he fought 3 times in a row and then didn't fight for what? 10 months.
Yeah, right.
You got to hit these short sprints where
I think it was a little visa problem though, maybe.
Well, he also stepped away too because he got sick, didn't he? Didn't he?
Oh well, yeah,
yeah.
Said he was done, right? Like actually said, I'm not fighting anymore. Yeah.
But I think that stuff, in my opinion, is strategic.
You think so?
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, yeah. If he's not ready to go, and mentally, like I didn't never know I was gonna feel the way that I feel sometimes, like after fighting. Like I just fought 2.5 weeks ago, and obviously I destroyed the kid. It was like 30-24, had a good performance, but your adrenaline system, it just dumps. Your endorphins aren't there. Like the week after, you feel kind of like you're happy, and then all of a sudden it's just like a big old dump, you know. And you feel like you're not sure what's going on. I feel that. I don't know if you ever felt.
I feel like the weight cut just the weight cut. My body's not right for a couple of weeks. I don't sleep right. My adrenaline's fucking through the roof. You know, after a fight, like I feel like I don't sleep for like 4 days after my fight.
Tyson Fury talks about that. I think he talked about that on Rogan after he won his fight. Who was it, Klitschko or
Probably Klitschko. Yeah.
I think after he beat Klitschko, he basically went into a massive depression, and he was talking his way through as to why. I mean, he's always struggled. He talks openly about it with mental stability, but he said he was riding such a high, and then it was just gone. That was gone. The people went away. The interviews went away. The high of that fight went away, and he struggled obviously with drugs and mental health, and almost wasn't here anymore. But he came back, and he's dealing well with it, and obviously came back to have some major wins after that. So
yeah, he's a gangster, bro.
He talks pretty. I love how he's just an
Fucking
open book.
gangster.
He is an absolute.
And
gangster.
he's like a throwback, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't make him like him anymore.
Nah,
They don't.
it's just like heavyweight boxing. You know how it was that was the marquee weight class for such a long time, and then it kind of fell off. But he's good, man. He brings style to it a little bit too.
And gypsies, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
He's from
Gypsy
England.
King.
He's from Irish descent.
Yeah.
But he's got he brings so much outside the ring too. Just the way he talks, the interviews he does. He's Conor McGregor of boxing. You know what I mean?
Nah, I mean he's different though. Because
of
Conor
course,
McGregor's
of course.
brash. Conor McGregor's funny. He's brash. This dude's be singing and shit.
Yeah,
He's a big dude, so he has a different persona. You know
Isn't
what I
it
mean?
wild how the big guys can can always get away with that stuff? Like the
you're right.
heavyweight is
Yeah.
always the funniest guy on your team.
Yeah, they have like the big goofy guy. I mean, look at you, bro.
No, what's his name? Derek Lewis. He's another hysterical. My balls are hot.
Yeah.
My balls was hot. He's hysterical. His Instagram, another guy that's hysterical to watch.
Yeah,
he's okay.
Yeah.
He's okay. Yeah, I think it helps if you have the personality to boot. It makes you more marketable. You know what I mean? I think Frankie got told this by all his friends. Not that he doesn't have a good personality, obviously he does. But when Conor McGregor came on the scene and it was actually looking like they were going to fight, all of us were like, "Talk shit, bro! Talk shit! Talk." It's just not who he is. You can't change who you are. Like you got to come on the scene almost like that.
Correct. And I think a very important thing is to know who you are.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. Because if you know who you are, you're gonna be seen as authentic.
Yeah.
So you're gonna at least accumulate the people who are like you.
Yep.
Even if you're not making talking shit to people and making all these headlines or whatever, the work is eventually gonna speak for itself. And I think that's something that you did very well was you knew who you were right out of the get go, and you exemplified that. And over the long run, look what it turned into.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember even when I signed with Shari Spencer. She was George St. Pierre's manager. So this was my second manager in my career. You gotta be careful with managers,
For sure.
as you know, I'm sure. But I got to this is my third. When I signed with her, she's my third manager, and she was with George St. Pierre. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go with her. And which was, looking back, maybe it wasn't the best decision. But where the hell was I going with that?
I was talking. I don't know if it had anything to do with it. I was talking about just your personality and being who you are.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what we were having meetings. She's like, maybe you need to be a little more. And I'm like, listen, this is who I am. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be me, and that's what. If take it or leave it.
Yeah. I think a good example though, right, would be Colby Covington. Right, when he came on the scene, he's certainly not the guy he is today. But he was gonna get cut, and he changed his whole persona to this fucking asshole that he is today. It's not really him. It's not really that guy. You know what I mean?
I think
he is an asshole just
I know
because.
Colby, and I think it consumed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listen. Yeah,
I don't
too.
talk to him anymore.
Too. I just think this, I mean, I get it. If you're there's room for listen, like I was saying, in UFC there's it's a soap opera. The UFC is a soap opera, right? There's characters, so there is a space for that type of character in the soap opera, in the story of UFC, right? But you got to live with it, who that person is. You know what I mean? Because we're not like WWE guys. We know when we're on stage we're in a persona, but that's not how we are in real life. Yeah. Fighters, we're supposed to be who we're supposed to be. So you're playing this role. That's how everyone perceives you, right?
But I don't think it's as accepted, I guess. Like in the wrestling world, it's accepted. People know you're a character. In MMA, I don't think people know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it has consequences in the street because clearly. it's caught up with Kobe a couple times, especially the Florida incident, you know, or Miles Vidal maybe did something to him, but it caught up to him in Brazil too. I mean, the fucking with the Verdum with the boomerang.
That was in Australia.
Oh, Australia, you're right. But he was talking shit about Brazil in Australia, right? So Verdum threw a fucking boomerang at him.
That's my thing. Like whatever. Kobe's gonna talk some shit, but yo, don't be calling the cops. He called the cops fucking twice on Verdum and then on this guy.
100% agree with you.
You just can't do that.
You can't do that.
I mean, I feel like during my fights that I've been, everyone who I fight against hates me. Everyone thinks that like I'm the one that's talking shit and doing all this, but I just show up to the weigh-ins, do my thing, ask people to fight me. If they don't fight me, I'll just be like, yo, this guy's not fighting me, and I'll publicly say it. And guys just hate me for some reason, but it makes for good entertainment for me because it plays kind of into.
So you're not really a shit talker? You don't really.
I mean, I love to talk shit, but I'm not.
Is that encouraged by whatever promotion you're working with to hype fights? I feel like it's got to be encouraged a little bit.
The UFC never at once said hype. It's up to the guy. I don't know about these promotions. I don't think any, like not when when I was the early fights, no one ever said you got to. You're the guy.
Because I think I've heard Chael Sonnen talk a little bit about it. Like I'm building the fight. I'm building. Of course, I'm talking.
That's up to him.
I'm building the fight. But do guys that get points?
He's the best at it.
Oh, he's phenomenal because he's actually very intelligent. So his delivery is really good. And it's humorous too. But do guys do that when they get pay-per-view points? Because obviously there's incentive there, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's incentive,
I'm sure.
And you also got to look. You got to look who you're fighting.
Yeah.
You know, each different fight is gonna have.
Well, people also act like there's just not. I'm gonna be real. There's not that many draws.
No, not at all.
The UFC is gonna always do okay, right? They're always gonna do okay. Who's a draw? I mean, Conor McGregor, Diaz.
What's your definition of a draw?
Ronda Rousey.
Million pay-per-view buys?
million pay-per-view buys.
Okay.
800 million. You know,
3
million. That's a big.
I'm saying 3 people.
Oh, 3 people. Yeah, Nate, Conor, Habib when he was there, maybe John Jones.
Yeah.
What did Rousey do for numbers when she was there?
She was a draw. She was a draw too,
right?
I think.
But it was a different kind of draw back then.
Yeah, right.
You know, now the sport is under magnifying glass, so the draw is bigger.
Yeah,
sure.
But I think the UFC is doing a good job at building middle characters, and not even middle characters, but like Gilbert Burns. Like they're building Gilbert up right now. Gilbert's been in this game for a long time. He's a fighter's fighter. Everyone knows who he is that knows about the sport, but now they're starting to build him into this character to where even if he's my teammate, so obviously I want him to win and go win the title, but even if he doesn't win, he's going to kind of still have that Jorge Masvidal effect. And I think UFC is doing a better job at drawing in those mid to high level draws.
Well, yeah. I mean, the mid draws are better for them to pay too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
that kind of makes it go around.
But
not everybody could make that kind of money. This is what it is.
I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, no, I mean, not saying it. Listen, as the sport goes, guys are making more and more and more. When I first started to what I'm doing now, it's a big difference.
It's just hard to be that person because it's not just winning. It's winning in like flashy style.
Conor was the perfect storm.
He was the perfect storm.
At the perfect time.
The accent helped too. The accent helped too.
A fucking 100%.
Yeah.
You give me a Irish accent or even an English accent, dude. Any kind of accent, really. Like Americans love other people more than they love Americans.
What about your Jersey accent?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. It's not that strong.
You should.
I never noticed Jersey accents. I lived in Florida for the past 3 years.
And they
and so you too, I'm like, bro, Jersey. And people say I got it. I'm like, what are you talking about?
He's pretty good at doing different impressions and accents. My favorite one is the Virginia abortion doctor. That's my favorite one. Do it. It's my favorite one.
It's like, I'm going to take the babies and we're going to deliver them and they're going to be comfortable. I'm fucking it up.
You fucked it up.
Yeah. Put me on the spot.
This is lunatic in Virginia. It was like an abortion doctor.
No, fucking he wasn't. It was the mayor, bro. It was or the governor or something.
Oh, it was? I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was like.
He's like, we're going to take the baby from the mother.
I know exactly what you're talking
about. It's
about.
like 12-month abortions. Talking about taking a baby.
No, having a baby, delivering a baby, and then we're going to talk to the mother and she's going to decide if she's going to kill the baby.
Yeah. It's insanity, bro.
Oh, man, I'm a conspiracy theorist. And so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Dude, that's fucking wild, man. That's another beat for you.
Oh, yep. Sorry, we'll slow down.
That's another beat for you.
We're dropping the F-bombs over here. We're trying to slow down on the F-bombs, guys, a little bit. Make this a family show. Everybody can watch. We do it a lot, though. We usually do it in the first 30 seconds.
Get it out of the system.
Yep.
Sometimes you don't even notice it.
Nah,
Just part of being from Jersey, man.
I can't help it. I curse.
It's just a way to talk
too much. My kid, my kids, they.
Bro, I walk into 7-Eleven and the guy's like, "How the fuck you doing, bro?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's just how people talk.
It's what it is. Yeah.
New York's probably worse.
I don't know. Jersey's up there. My dad was a construction worker. He cursed all the time too. So that's what it is.
Blue collar. My dad's a construction worker too. That's the theme of this.
Of
camp.
Jersey, of your camp,
Of Jersey, but I have like a different theme each camp.
Yeah.
And this camp is gonna be blue collar.
Bro, Jersey is nothing but blue collar.
Of course.
A lot of union guys
Got
here.
the best unions. That's what I studied at Rutgers. Labor relations.
Really?
Collective bargaining.
Yeah. I was in the union. I was a plumber till my third fight in UFC.
No shit.
Yeah.
How was gonna do if I didn't do this?
Yeah.
And then invest.
Much better choice.
Yeah.
How was your time at Rutgers? You transferred from where were you?
Iowa Central.
Iowa Central and transferred.
Yeah. So it was. I'll kind of give you a little run back of my whole story. So I started off wrestling in Edison, and my dad was a big time basketball coach on the high school level. So he always kind of raised me towards athletics and didn't tell me to worry about too much. He kind of saw that I was an athlete from a young age. Grew up in Edison, played football, and then my coach was, Scotty Winston.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Jackson, elite. His dad was my football coach when I was like maybe 9 years old. He's like, look, I know you want your son to be a good athlete, but he's probably too small to be professional football one day, so you should get him into wrestling and then see what he can do there. So then I started wrestling. Edison came up, moved to Toms River. I've always been lucky with like the people who've been before me, so I could kind of see what they're doing and then going. I moved to Toms River, and then I think when did you fight BJ Penn the first time?
2010.
Do you know what month it was?
April.
It was April, so it was my freshman year, and Coach Reed got the auditorium, brought everybody out, and I always wanted to be a fighter because I always watched, Chuck Liddell, Forrest Griffin, but it was always in the back of my mind. I was wrestling as the most important thing, and then I seen Frankie win his first title, and I was like, man, this guy went to the same high school as me. I just moved here. This is my wrestling coach. And then you had a parade the next day or whatever next week. Yeah. And I'm like, I looked at my mom and I was like, hey, this is what I think I want to do with my life. And she was like, cool. So after that, I went on to Iowa Central, and the alumni there, John Jones, Cain Velasquez, Joe Soto, my current teammate, Philip Halls, Colby Covington. So I kind of always been guided towards that, and I've always kind of seen the writing on the wall. And then I went to Rutgers, came back home, wrestled there, enjoyed it. I had a really, really good time at Rutgers. It was fun. Kind of got the best of both worlds, and that was kind of when the program just started to really, really turn around. Obviously, when Scotty first came and Del Fab was like the beginning of it, but when I was there, I remember being in Nebraska, we were top 5 in the country my first year there. And then after that, I kind of had a really bad injury my senior year. I had a neck injury, and then I wrestled for a little bit longer. I did 9 months on the senior level. Won the Dave Schultz, took 4th in the World Team Trials. But I feel like I extended my wrestling career a little bit longer. I wanted to fight when I was young, but then you're at Rutgers. I'm on this full scholarship. All the fans are there. It was just so good for my platform. And then I get to train every day with Parati. You would come in on Wednesdays. Donnie Pritzolf's my coach.
Goody there?
Goodell's the head coach.
Yeah.
And it was just such a good environment to be in, especially as a Jersey guy. I was actually born on campus. I lived across the street from where I was born. I used to train on College Ave, which is on the same street. Yeah. So it was funny. And all the fans were there. It was just the best time for Jersey wrestling, so it was really good for me. And then once I got done wrestling, I was like, man, I could keep wrestling through to 2020 and try to make my hand, but the guys ahead of me was like Kyle Dake, Jordan Burroughs, Isaiah Martinez, Jason Nolf. So I was number 5, and I was like, man, with this injury, I was only training twice a week, and I just had a decent performance at the World T Trials, and I was like, I want to be a fighter, man, and I've kind of held on to this dream long enough, so took a year and a half off, and then started fighting.
Year and a half off to rehab the injury?
To recover.
What was your injury?
It was C4, C5.
Oh, neck.
Very bad herniations. So I had surgery on my shoulder when I was in college, and then I had to take 6 or 7 months off, and then my first tournament back was the trials to make the world team, to make Team USA, and then I won that, and then I'm still in season for Rutgers, so we're still like competing, still cutting, still making weight, and then I went out to the Worlds, and in my quarterfinal match, I just got a really bad dead arm on the surgery that I had. So I think with the way like your body works is kind of in slings. So like your hips attached to your shoulders attached to your opposite side neck. So this compensates to stabilize that. So I had 2 more matches. I ended up winning them, but after that I really couldn't move my neck. And then I had to go back and wrestle the entire season. I took like 2 weeks off, corticosteroids. Obviously I was ranked pretty high in the country. I just came off the Team USA. And then, yeah, I just wrestled through it. And then after, it kind of messed me up. But that's why I only did 9 months, and I could barely train. And I was still on a high level to where it's like, I believed I can do it, but my body was really holding me back. And then I took the 1.5 years off to rehab it.
Did you get metal? Did you get caged, or what'd you
Nothing.
get? No. Well, that's good.
Nothing.
That's good. Yeah.
I don't believe you should touch the spine.
I agree.
Until you're done.
100%. Yeah, totally.
If you're
Totally.
done,
agree with you there.
then
Do the minimal you have to do until you're older, obviously, and then. But yeah, I mean that sort of holds a little true for you, Frankie, when you say. I mean, I've heard you say it before that you took a little inspiration from Josh Koscheck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he was saying the people that preceded him, he was inspired by. I remember you saying you wrestled with Koscheck and then saw him transition to MMA.
That's Ultimate Fighter 1. That's kind of when MMA even got on my radar. You know, that's the first season. It was my senior year.
I could say this clearly. The reason why I'm fighting is because of Frankie.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
He was
man.
the first. He was the first guy in my life that I looked at. Obviously, you look at your dad first and see what he did and all that, and then you kind of have a role model after that. And Frankie was the first one where it was like, "That's what I want to be,
That's pretty cool,
and that's
man.
what I want to do."
Love it, man. Love it. TR, baby. Come on, you know.
Nothing greater than a Raider.
That's it, man. Hell yeah. Nothing greater than a Raider. That's Deli's go-to.
I got a Raider tattoo.
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
On the back of my calf. I got it for Coach Reed.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I got the old school seats when they were getting rid of them.
Yeah, you snagged him.
Yeah.
Deli got him when he just stole one.
That's what Deli said to me my senior year. He's like, make sure you snag a seat before you go.
Yeah,
It
you
was
got
like
it.
an inside joke where we're like, we'll send the picture of the seat.
That's funny.
So you're now in contract negotiation for possibly fighting for a lightweight belt in what promotion?
I CFFC.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't really announced. We can't.
Oh, well, we
Yeah.
can cut it out. If you can't talk about it, we cut it out. Yeah.
Just in case it doesn't happen.
Sure, we'll cut it out. We'll chop it. Yeah. All right.
But you say he's in. But you are fighting.
This is
soon,
probably might
hopefully
not
local.
this might not even air for a couple of weeks, so maybe we'll leave it in until you tell us to cut it out. But
Perfect. Yeah, it would be good.
Okay.
Timing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm supposed to fight in Jersey. I've been in very long for a regional scene promotion negotiations.
Yeah, right.
But I'm at the point where people now, I'm like, I'm probably going to make my UFC debut this year, at the end of the year.
Awesome.
I just have to win one more fight, and if I want to fight one more, as long as I win the next one, I'm good. If I want to do one more.
Now, will you? Okay. I mean, is your plan to go UFC or Contender Series or anything like that, or right to UFC if you can?
I think it kind of is going to depend on a couple factors, like when McGregor's fighting. Am I going to be in his camp? And if I am in his camp, is there going to be also focus on me, or am I going to go just for him? So I think those things are going to factor into when I'm going to make my debut.
Right.
And then obviously I want to have good traction, so I want to have a good storyline. Obviously I want to fight Eddie Torres also. He said he couldn't fight me because he got surgery, but we had the altercation in Philly. I'm fighting someone else first.
Wait, what was the altercation in Philly? I'm not familiar. What happened?
So I've been trying to get fights. It's sometimes hard for me to get fights, and it's been hard. And I think that also to say about myself, I wasn't at a level yet to where I can take risky fights, where people that had 10 amateur fights have 5 to 10 pro fights. You know, I just started fighting 28 months ago. So in the beginning of my career, I also couldn't fight the guys that were willing to fight me. So it was been hard for me to get fights, but now the past 6 months, I got to a point to where I'm like, all right, bet I can fight anyone. I've trained with the best in the world. You know, I know my level. I'm ready for the UFC, so I can fight anyone now. So now I'm calling out guys that are 4-0, 5-0, 10 fights, 9-1. The kid that I may fight is 7-1. Undefeated amateur. So I'm talking to these promotions, and these promoters obviously want to sign me. And then I see who they have on the roster. I'm like a super nerd when it comes down to MMA and it comes down to sports in general. I know who fought who. I know styles, how they match up, game planning. Why watch hours of film? I probably watch 10 to 15 hours of film every single week. Always working. So
you watch like opponents or just the people that draw stuff from?
Yes, people to draw stuff from. Yeah, but I work on very specific things. I'll come back to where I was going, but obviously I trained with John Danaher for a decent while. And the way that he used to train us is you focus on small things in the training, and then eventually you game plan it in. So we focus on smaller things and little tactics for a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time. And it normally is pretty quick for me to absorb the concepts. Right. And then we move on to the next, and then obviously close to the fight, we work on the hard sparring and implementing everything together. But so I'm talking to these promoters, and I'm like, okay, these are the guys on your roster. This is who I'll fight. I'll fight the champ Blake. I'll fight Eddie Torres, who is 4-0. I'll fight Robert Riccio, who is 3-0 or 4-0. And at this point, I was 2-0 or 3-0, and all the guys denied me. But then they say, every fighter says, I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, any place. So then it was kind of like...
Now, what is their reasoning? Saying you're not a big enough name?
No, it's a bad fight for them.
Bad stylistically.
Yes, but these are behind closed doors that I'm saying I'll fight these guys, put them, and those are opponents that I'll take. Right. Because I also now want to fight guys that are undefeated because I want to prop up my record. Sure. I only fought 2 guys that were, the one guy's 7-1 now, and then the other guy is like 4-1. But then the other 2 was like my first fight, the guy is 2-3. My last fight, the guy was 2-3. Gotcha. So I have 2 good fights and then 2 kind of builder fights. So I want to build my next 2 fights where guys can be on the next level. Also, so I get the experience of fighting like a lower level UFC fight right now. So I know I'm ready, get the feeling, get the different experience. Also, being a main event kind of changes things. So tried to fight the guys and they didn't want to fight me. So then I just put on the internet like, hey, I tried to fight all these guys and these guys are not fighting me. So I called them out. I said, you guys will fight anybody time, anywhere, then fight me. They got a little upset, and then I'm pretty good at shit talking. That's just kind of what I do too. And
that's TR kid, bro.
Yeah, but I get dirty with it.
So it wasn't an actual physical altercation?
No, it was. It was. So then I go to Philadelphia because CFFC is also Fury Grappling. So I go to there, and I had just flown in. And I went by myself, and I went to the weigh-ins, and they showed up, and I'm a competitor on the card, right? I weigh in, just got done weighing in, I cut some weight, maybe like 5-10 pounds, get off the scale, and then the kid comes up next to me, taps me on the shoulder, and was like, what's up, bro, you know who I am? I'm like, yeah, Eddie Torres, like, I want to fight. Like, son, we'll get the contract, Rob's here, and let's sign the fight if you want to fight. He's like, I'll fight you, but I'll fight you right here. I was like, and I'll fight you, but he was with like 3-4 of his boys, and we're in Philly. I'm not an idiot. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll fight you, bro. But
Philly's different.
First of all, I don't want to fight you on the streets, but if I have to, I will. But I'm not going to fight you with 4 or 5 of your friends here. If you want to swing on me, we get one punch off. Like, what's that going to do for us? I'm trying to get paid. I'm trying to beat your ass and keep developing. And you have the same opportunity that I have. We can step in the cage. And then it kind of started to cause a commotion. His friends were around. His coach went to grab him. Sucker punched me. And by the time he sucker punched me, it got completely broken up. But it got a fuck ton of views, like 5-10 million. So it started to set up a good fight. Yeah. So I'm like, perfect.
No press is bad
now
press.
He can't fucking go anywhere. Right. Because now he has to fight me. Right. And then supposedly he had a knee injury the whole time, and was getting surgery. So he couldn't even... I think he didn't want to fight me. I think that it was probably a nagging injury, and he said, you know what, if I'm going to get a surgery, right now is a good time to get it, so I don't have to fight Richie Lewis. Yeah.
Is that fight still a possibility in the future?
That's what I want to do after I win this belt. Yeah. I'll fight him.
It's got traction behind it now.
I'll fight him
People
on Contender,
want it, right?
or I'll fight him for CFFC and then go straight to UFC. But I would like him to be my 6th fight because I'm looking to take these fights and build traction. Like my last fight, my weigh-ins. I don't know if you saw it, but we got in each other's faces and all that. It was on UFC Fight Pass. It got 1 million views.
Man.
YouTube Shorts, millions of views. So I'm a fucking regional fighter, and every fight that I'm doing is getting the most traction on any card on any regional scene, aside from maybe the Cage Warriors guys who will have a similar guy to me. But that's over the pond.
That's what you got to do. That's part of building your brand, you know. But if I could give you a little advice, since you have that camaraderie and friendship with Conor McGregor, and don't be Dylan Dennis. Don't be that guy. You don't want to be that guy. That guy, listen, he had hype behind him, right? He really did. Dylan Dennis became, if you're a fight fan, he almost became Dylan. A fucking household name. But then like he did nothing with it. You know what I mean? Like, I totally fell off after that. So,
but Dylan Dennis is different than Richie Lewis.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying don't be that guy.
Was he supposed to? He was supposed to
be in like 13 fights, and he's backed out of every one of them.
Celebrity box somebody. KSI, right? Or something like that?
Yeah.
He's supposed to fight KSI.
Yeah,
so bro, he's going to get paid like $1 million, $2 million. He's managed by Audi too.
Yeah.
Or by Paradigm, I should say.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny, man. He said, "Don't be like Dylan Dennis."
Yeah, don't be like that guy.
No, there's no ways.
Bro, then he even came to a Seaside Club last summer and fucking got choked out by a bouncer here, and it was like it went fucking thrown in the slammer. Like, don't be like that guy, man.
Those bouncers are assholes, though.
Yeah, but still, if you're an MMA fighter, make sure you don't get choked out by one.
If you turn your back to dudes, bro.
You gotta know in Seaside they're ganging up on you, bro. You're not. I wouldn't fight a bouncer in Seaside.
No, you're gonna get fucking lumped up by everybody. The cops too.
And the cops.
Yeah.
My boys
you're not going to win for sure, but I was a bouncer in Seaside. My story, Frankie knows my story, but I was bouncing at Hemingway's back in the day, and you know who came in there for his bachelor party with all his boys? Eddie Alvarez was there for his bachelor. That's the first time I ever met him.
Dog.
Yeah, dog, bro.
His last
that fight was great, bro.
Oh, bro.
That was fucking great.
It's Chad you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, yeah. But he's like a street fighter. I don't think Chad is. I don't know Chad's story, but Eddie grew up in the fucking mean streets of not even fucking Kensington, which is like the worst of the worst you can be in Philly, and he grew up in the boxing gyms. That dude is just built different, bro. That's his game, is fighting with fucking bare knuckle, you know what I mean?
I kind of always knew that, but then after this last fight, I kind of see him in a different light now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was UFC.
That might be his sport,
that's the high standard, but to see him go fight like that, get knocked down twice,
come back, get two back. Yeah, he's a beast, bro. Yeah.
Mike Perry too.
Yeah, dude. Does Luke at Kill Cliff?
He trains there.
And what's my? He don't live in Florida.
Yeah, I think he has a house there. He's got bread. Models.
Yeah.
Plugged in with the right people. He'll just pop into the gym. Pull up in like fresh ass whips.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
He's a G.
I didn't think Perry was going to win that. When they first, he's out, outsized by a lot, but he looks good. He's found his niche. You know what I mean? He's definitely Mike Perry's found his niche in bare knuckle.
Breaks your fist with his head, and then he breaks your head with his.
He
fist.
said that in the interview. He's like, "I'm gonna break your fist. I'm gonna headbutt your fist."
And then Luke's like, "You're gonna headbutt me?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Nah, I'm gonna headbutt your fist, bro."
Yeah.
He's so funny.
He's fucking
hysterical,
great.
bro.
He is so
2% black.
He's so unintentionally funny too.
He is.
Like he ain't even trying.
Doesn't mean to do it.
He ain't even trying. He's just hilarious.
He's hilarious. I love that guy. I'm glad he won. Not that I don't like Luke. I'm a fan, but like he's just they're totally different personalities, and I just thought stylistically Luke would have got him, but I asked this question to you you think you could fight through that with broken teeth? Could you fight through that?
I fought with broken nose, but broken teeth, I don't know. Maybe, and it's different when you're young and coming up,
right? And
then when you're older and fighting in BKFC after you're a 2-time UFC world champion, I think your mindset's different.
Who was the fight early in the UFCs that got? I think he got kneed in the. Was it Henzo? No, not Henzo. No, fucking who was it? Got kneed in the face, and you see the tooth come flying out.
No, but that's the big Hawaiian, the big.
No.
Yes.
But no, it was but that fight ended right there. This guy continued to fight, and this was later. That was like UFC 2 or something. Yeah.
I'm thinking about that. Yeah, because your teeth are nerves, man. It's different. You got roots canals.
Why can't I think who? I'll have to Google it, but I think it was a BJJ guy. I think it was a Brazilian.
I know Corey got his teeth busted in.
Pushed in, right?
And kept fucking fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Takes a special type of human, man, to do that shit.
If it was a different time, like when you were younger coming up, would you have ever thought about doing bare knuckle?
I'm sure. Should I still think about it? You know what I'm saying?
David Feldman, you watching this?
Mike Perry.
Yeah, nah. I mean, if I were you, I would pursue MMA. Like, yo, because these guys are getting like, I don't think it's like any less safe or anything. You're getting knocked out. It's the same shit, but like, you're getting cut the fuck up. Like that fight. That was probably the first. I mean, I've watched the bare knuckle before, but probably the first like whole event I tuned into, and it wasn't that bloody. I mean, people got cut, but I think that they're not typically like that. I think people get cut like fucking crazy.
And their hands are bleeding.
Yeah,
like
and
their hands get cut.
And what's crazy, like my hands are a little fucked. I can't even close them that well anymore. So like I wonder, like, yo, and Eddie and Chad, they were throwing like they had gloves on, bro.
Insane.
Like, yeah, I wonder how I wonder how their hands felt after that.
I hear the payday over there is pretty good.
Yeah, it's very
That's
good.
what I hear.
Yeah. If they can keep doing it, I mean, that must have sold pretty well.
Because that's what it's all about. I mean, all you guys you're not signing up to do this because you want to get punched in the face. At the end of the day, it's the paycheck.
Prize fighters, baby, fighting for a prize.
Yeah, and I've been to the fights at BKFC, and they're pretty legit. Sold out crowd at Hard Rock, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
The production was good. I thought it was good. Guy Cyrus Freeze. I know. I promoted. I did a commentary with him for Brave back in the day. One of the commentators.
Did you
over
fight
there.
at Brave?
I didn't fight Brave. I commentated for them. Yeah. They're like a pretty big promotion.
They're
overseas.
Huge.
Yeah.
They're in where?
They're out of Bahrain. But
dude, you know the fighters, the guy who owns the Brave, the fighters, if they fight that are part of his gym, they get paid like $5,000, $10,000 bonuses.
KHK, I was with them.
Just to go fight for amateurs.
Wow.
Yeah, I was with them for a little bit. KHK. It's part of that team. It was nice.
It is nice.
It was nice. Yeah.
I'm trying to find me something like that. Navigating the waters, man, in the sport is pretty hard too. It's not hard; it's tricky.
Yeah, it's tricky, but you say you got good representation. You know that's important.
Very good team around me too.
Yeah, and you got good. You're with great guys. You know that's the thing. I think to me, it's longevity is obviously on your mindset and how you approach a sport and what you want out of the sport, but it's also with the fucking people you surround yourself with. You know, like I've had the same people from day one. You know, so that definitely helped me out. But you seem like you got good core coaches, good management, good people around you. That's then nothing can stop you.
I agree.
Have you guys? I mean, not wrestled, but actually trained pad work. Anything? Have you guys actually done MMA together? Training? I mean,
no. You came. Once you come to the gym the one time. Yeah.
Katones?
3 times. Elite.
Yeah,
Elite,
Tom's River one, right? A little bit. Yeah. Well, we talked about it though. I'm down.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
How long are you here for?
I'm here till Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, I came for the fight. Gilbert. Yeah.
Oh, you're going?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Gilbert, man, he's gonna win and get the title.
Hell yeah. I'm a Gilbert fan, man.
Yeah, I'm boys with both of them. I think. But dude, it's a great fight, man.
Well, I was just at the gym.
Yeah, they're very similar. They're very similar in style. It's like Gil is just so good in jiu-jitsu, bro. His grappling is so fucking good.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, he can wrestle like a motherfucker too, right?
He can.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's so athletic.
I know. I'd be wrestling him all the time, and I'd be like, man. And he comes up with new tricks. Normally, like you have to fight a wrestler or grapple with a wrestler for them to like do a new trick on you the next round or the next time you roll with him.
Yeah.
He's always my favorite girl because he challenges me, and then he'll like come up with a trick. I'm like, bro, you're a jiu-jitsu guy.
He stepped up to that.
He's trying to get with tricks. I'd be like, I'm on you. I'm on to you.
Yeah, he's tough.
He stepped up to that Kazmat fight and took him into deep waters, man, and he looked good. He was definitely gassing him.
In my completely biased opinion,
a lot of people are fearful of him.
That was a 3-round fight, is that right? If it was 5, Gil would have won.
Burns all day.
Yeah.
He was gassing.
But I seen Cron Gracie say, I kind of like it. He's like, because he's old school, obviously, but he's like, it shouldn't be no rounds. It shouldn't be 3 5-minute rounds or 5 5-minute rounds. It should be 1 15-minute round or 1 25-minute round.
I agree, and that gives a lot of benefit to the grapplers.
To the grapplers and just to the like that's a real fight.
That's a real fight.
Because we get in a fight, there's no like, oh, okay, stop, we're going to continue in a minute. You're going to fight till someone loses or somebody wins.
Does that have to do with the commission? Does a commission sanction that?
Probably, and probably entertainment too. It's probably maybe with rounds you get a little bit juice, get a little bit more energy. You probably wouldn't be as entertaining, maybe.
Do you look at fighting as like? Do you view it from a sport perspective, or do you view it like, no, this is way more serious than sport?
If I could choose, I'm more a purist. You know what I mean? Like, but it can't. It's a sport. It is a sport. I mean, it's on TV. It's regulated. It has commissions. But me, like, I feel like I think there should be no rules except poking eyes and kicking in the dick and biting. Everything else should be game to me. Headbutts. I think the thing knees to the grounds, kicks to the grounds, because that's a real fight. I get it; it doesn't look very good for the masses, headbutting somebody or fucking soccer against someone. But I'll tell you what, in a real fight, in a real fight, if I'm in a real fight, I'm gonna fucking headbutt you. I promise. And if you're under me, and I'm probably gonna kick you in the face. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
So. And I think it does change the fight. Like, guys can't play that knee shit, staying on their knees. Like, in ONE FC, they can't do that. They're getting kicked in their face,
3 points down, right? You have to have.
And it's stupid. It's really dumb. If I wanted to knee someone as hard as I could, I would probably want them, like, up here, off the ground anyway. You know what I mean? Down here, what's the difference? I'm still kneeing you. I can kick you in the face standing, bro. If I can kick you in the face standing, that's pretty damn hard. What's the difference if you're on the ground? That's my thing.
I agree.
But I get it. Like people are watching at home. You don't want to scare people away.
That's the purest versus the sport.
Right, right.
Good perspective.
Yeah.
How much faith do you put in the judges? Have you ever been robbed? No, you're 4-0. You haven't been robbed.
I haven't lost a round yet.
Yeah.
And I don't think I will.
I feel like, I feel like a lot of times the judges just get it so wrong, and there's only 3 of them, right? And their scoring can be miles apart from the person standing right next to them. It's crazy.
It's probably the worst part of our sport.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
How do you fix that?
Everyone says it. I think the 10-point must system is probably not the right way. Probably has to be like half points or something in there.
I think if you just put fucking professionals in there.
Yeah.
Like the guys that are judging.
Former
fighters.
It's happening. I feel like as the sport goes, you're getting former fighters in there. But I wonder, like, has boxing been around forever? They're not former fucking boxers. Like, why does a guy want to judge boxing that never boxed before? Mm-hmm. Right? Is that why does a guy? I wouldn't want to be a referee at wrestling if I never wrestled before.
Well, aren't refs starting to be judges? Isn't Dan Margliotta now a judge?
Yes. Sometimes, yeah.
I believe he is. Yeah.
But I agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and he also trains and fought before. He's
Big John McCarthy would be a great judge. I think
he was a judge.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
he's like one of the most experienced refs of all time.
And there has to be a unified scoring. Hey, this is what this is valued. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be this is valued at 1 point, but there has to be like a standard value for a takedown. Mm-hmm. A standard value. If 5 takedown defenses equal 1 takedown, then they would cancel out, and then whoever has more significant strikes. There has to be kind of like a better language.
Yeah, there's no really, it's octagon control. Like
it's discretional.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, so very. I don't like going along like that.
There you go.
Got my man Richie Savage in the house.
Let's go. TR, baby.
TR native. Rutgers alum.
We adopted Roger.
Yeah, I'm fucking.
We just say
it's the guy from Maine sitting in on a podcast over here. Yeah, man. Well, you definitely have an exciting career ahead of you.
Real quick, what do you do? Because all right, this is someone. You're the young buck. Recovery. What do you do for recovery?
So I think it's definitely like a multi-prong thing. I definitely lift for durability. I have a very good strength and conditioning coach. I also learned this from Cejudo. I built my body over like 2 years to where now my body could handle 10x the load that I could handle 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we did that strategically. And I think like when I'm coming back, so like I just had a fight. I took 2 weeks off. Mm-hmm. The way that we come back is we do 1 week hard, 1 week light, camp. So I think recovery is not just, okay, let's do recovery. It's kind of how you approach the sport and how you build your entire body. I'll notice that if I'll be in the only time I'm in the best shape of my life is when my nutrition is on point, when I'm doing my ice baths, you know, and I feel like I used to be injury prone, and then I built my body to be more durable, and then I switched my mind. It sounds crazy, but I switched my mind to where I don't get injuries. Like, I tell myself that I don't get injuries, and in addition to what I was doing, I just literally barely get injured anymore. Obviously, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But that's part of it. I think ice is very important, especially for the lower half of the body. When I'm cutting weight, I do it in the upper half because it turns your white fat to brown fat. So I definitely like to ice. And anytime I get sore, I just ice the lower part of my body and the soreness goes away. I think that sauna's good. I think you have to monitor, like, how hard you're working and what your training sessions are doing. Obviously, there's a time to push past your limits, but most injuries and the need for recovery happen when you're overtrained on a Friday, or even going out if you're drinking or whatever, and then you come in on a Monday, you're stiff, you know, just watching out for those things. And then I think another big thing is the lifting. That has to be the most important part, but it's not just, I'm bench pressing. You know, I'm doing core work. I'm doing like multilateral planes. I'm also squatting. I'm also deadlifting. I'm also benching. But yeah, and also my lifts, I shouldn't even say lifts. My strength and conditioning training is also, it was 2.5 hours the other day. You know, so it's this long form. And I think the mind.
Yeah.
Is very important.
Yeah, that's everything, really.
It's literally everything, and that's something that I didn't have until I started fighting. Wrestling, I kind of always just like was good, talented, and I won it. And then once I got with Greg Jones, he really helped me with.
He's good with that, the mindset and everything. He's there's some guys that know how to win and know how to think. You know, like Jordan Burroughs, Henry Cejudo, Michael Jordan, like these guys, and Kobe Bryant. Like, Greg Jones is like Kobe Bryant. And I never really had that mindset because I didn't believe it. I'm like, this woo-woo thing, you know? And then I started to he used to demand it out of me every day. Excellence every single day in everything that I'm doing. And once I started to really shift my mind, it opened up like a whole new layer of, I used to think I was, I'm going to overtrain. You know, I'm sore. But when you break past the barrier a couple times and you build it slowly, it just... comes into something that you were here before and now you're here, and if you were overtraining, you'd be overtraining because it was limited before. You get what I'm saying?
Usman talked about that. We had him, I forget exactly what he said, but essentially it was, you know, I've had training sessions where I thought I pushed myself to my limit, but the next day I pushed 1% more. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just 1% more.
That's literally it. And it fucking compounds, man.
Yeah.
And the shit that the people say, like the odes and what Coach Reed would tell us and all that, like even no cussing on the mat, like it changes your respect for the room that you're in.
Sure.
You know, you got to clean up after yourself. When you do that, it changes your workout.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
You gotta be on time. You gotta be on time. I'm
like, Coach, come on, man.
Yeah. No, man, that's you got all the bases covered, my dude. Definitely.
Thank you.
You seem like in a good headspace and good people around you. Excited to see what this TR boy can do.
Hell yeah, man! I'm a fan for sure. I've been following you for a minute, so
yeah. Nah, man, you're doing fine. You're doing more than fine. When so. If that hypothetical fight comes to play, when do you think that would be?
It would be June 16th, and if I don't fight June 16th, I'll fight.
And it'll be here.
It'll be in Jersey.
That's amazing. AC?
That's AC.
AC.
Hard
awesome.
That's what we're planning on.
I'll be there.
But I'll be active no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's hope that happens.
Yeah. Well, next time. I mean, I know you're gonna be in Jersey often, so make sure you come pop on through.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to kind of come back and really kind of settle a little bit more roots here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you want, you got a place to train always. So. Yeah. You know, I've been working with Mark Gray.
I know.
Yeah, he's fighting next weekend.
How's he looking?
He's looking good, man. He's fighting for the Ring Combat 35-pound title.
He's 3-0 or 4-0?
He 4-0.
Cool.
4-0.
Yeah, once he's so strong, bro. Especially for a 35
yeah, he is, man.
He'll grip you up.
Yeah. He's tough. He's doing good. Great wrestling. Great wrestling. You know, as you know.
Yeah. That's it, man. The wrestling is like. I think I'm going to go out there and punch someone in the face. Like my last fight, I was like, I'm going to, be good on my feet or whatever. And then I get in there, I'm just like, I'm taking him down.
I'll tell you this. take everybody down till you can't.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a time when you can't, and then you're gonna be like, all right, now I've been working on these motherfuckers for how long? Let's put them to work.
Yep.
I like that. I never heard you say that before. I like that. Take everybody down till you can't. That's good. That's good. True, too. It's true. Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yep.
Fit. All right, dog.
Thank you.
Good having you, man.
Richie, pleasure, brother. Pleasure. We got to sign the board before we leave. my
Listen,
man.
please, everybody, find and follow us on YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and most other podcast platforms.